I lost weight. And I couldn't believe how much weight I'd actually lost. 18.5 pounds in 21
Wow.
days. By the time I got to the end of the 7 days, my mobility had come back. I was walking more. I felt better. I felt more energized. And I think my mental health actually improved as well. The 21 days for me has made my life much, much better. But I don't think people can understand how happy it's made me just doing this primal eating.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Happy Sexy Health. It's one of your favorite episodes. I know that you love it when we have people in who've just started primal eating and how they got on with the process. So today I'm joined by Beverley. She's 64. She's a business school manager. She lives in Leicester, and she was skeptical about trying primal eating and the 21-day primal body reset. So, Bev, I'd love it if you could tell us why you were skeptical about joining.
Mainly because I thought, would it work? And when you were talking about just eating protein, fats, and meat, and cream, and cheese, and all those, I thought, no, that doesn't equate. My brain was saying, I've been told for a long time, keep away from all these things, eat them in moderation. And then all of a sudden, I'm going onto a program where I can eat all those things. And I'm quite happy about it as well. It's been good.
And so you were a bit skeptical, thinking, because we were talking before we started
Mm.
recording. Tell us about some of the other things that you were concerned about.
Well, my health, really, because I've got health issues. Just like any 64-year-old, you wake up one morning and you think, I never had that ache or pain the other day, and so now I've got it. But it was when I was reading through the list of what you'd sent, because you'd sent me that invitation through LinkedIn, and literally I could see myself on there. It was the high blood pressure, dementia, high cholesterol, heart attacks and things. And I was thinking, so I'm in that age range and I need to do something about it. And literally, when I was going down it, I thought, no, I need to do this because at the end of the day, I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. But also at the same time, my health is so important to me that I just had to do something because it was getting to the point where my body was failing me. I wasn't active enough and I couldn't be active enough because I had swollen feet, swollen ankles. It had reduced my mobility to walk, do exercise and things like that. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it.
Brilliant. And I'm so glad that you did. So let's go into the changes you noticed, because it's hard to believe that in just 21 days, so much results happened for you. So just tell us about what exactly happened, improved.
Everything, literally. And that was the funny thing about it. But it was also the small things as well as the big things. The big things were that I lost weight. And I couldn't believe how much weight I'd actually lost within the first 7 days. I felt good at the same time because it was like I knew something was happening, but I didn't realize how much was happening. The weight was coming off. That was a good thing. The swelling in my feet, because I've had two lymph nodes taken away, I have a mild lymphedema. Your ankles swell up and it reduces your mobility. My ankles are always swollen. That reduced. That was one of the best things for me. Like, I used to get up in the morning, lie on my bed for about 10 minutes and put my feet up in the air to try and get everything down. One morning I just woke up and I thought, no, I'm going downstairs. And I thought, oh, and I was actually walking downstairs normally. And I know people might think, well, we all do that normally. But when you've been walking and holding onto the banister and going baby steps, like one step at a time, because you can't literally do, my ankles wouldn't allow me to bend that much. That for me was just fantastic. And I thought, that's good. I need to keep doing this. By the time I got to the end of the 7 days, my mobility had come back. I was walking more. I felt better. I felt more energized. And I think my mental health actually improved as well because my body was doing the things it liked to do before. And also the pain. I've been told I've got to have a hip operation on my right hand side. I don't really want any more operations. I don't really want to go under the knife again. And the pain, my hip pain, has reduced by 75%, I'd say. It's like a little niggle now instead of just being an ache. And it's really been good. And, you know, it's like, I feel better. My mental health is definitely increased, and it's made me feel more alive. It really has.
Wow, because there's so much there, but let's first of all talk about the lipedema. So tell us what it was like living with lipedema compared with now.
It was difficult because you could be sitting down, and if you sit down for too long, you find that you can feel your ankles swelling up, you can feel your feet swelling up, and there's not much you can do about it. And sometimes, you know, the swelling gets that bad that it's sort of like, it feels like it's stretching your skin, and it really is uncomfortable. Also, because of the amount of swelling around your ankle, you can't bend your feet. You can't walk the way normal people walk, heel toe, heel toe. You're literally walking flat all the time because, you know, you're just lifting it with your knee and putting it back down again. And that for me was just great, because I'm going to have it anyway because my lymph nodes have gone. There's nothing I can do about it. But being able to control it and know how to control it, because my primal eating has made such a difference to how my body was reacting, that was something I just felt I needed to continue, because even if I just had that one thing, that would have been fine for me.
Yes, and it's so many things, and we'll come into why does primal eating heal so many different things. But the next thing you talked about was your hip pain and needing a hip op.
Yeah, my doctor told me last year that I was having a lot of arthritis in my hip. Well, and that was mainly because of the medication I was on as well. So you've got to remember, they give me a medication which I've got to take for at least 5 years. And also at the same time, the side effects of this medication is literally making all my arthritis in my body come alive. It's really exacerbating the pain. So last year I had a lot of problems with that, and I went to my doctor and I said, look, this is just getting ridiculous. I'm not very good with painkillers. I can't take drugs per se, so a lot of my drugs were non-barbiturate, I think it is, but it doesn't have the normal stuff in it anyway. He was saying to me, he says, after that, he says, you know, if it gets too much for you, which he was getting quite painful, I'd have to have a hip operation. He says, you might last 1 more year, but by the time you're 65, you might have to go under the knife. I thought, no, I don't want that. You know what I mean? When my hip started to get better and I started to walk, I was like, hold on. Because my daughter noticed first. She just kept saying to me, you're keeping up with me, when we went shopping one day. And it was just so, that little subtle thing where she noticed and said, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine. And she goes, how are you feeling? And I said, actually, I feel really good. And it's gone from a pain where you feel like someone's putting a screwdriver into your hip to a little pinpoint where someone's just sometimes stabbing it with a needle. And also my arthritis in my knees and my ankles and everything else, that has reduced as well. So of course that's encouraged my mobility so much. It's been unreal.
Arthritis is one of the things that most people see really improve on a primal way of eating, because our carbohydrate heavy style of eating is inflammatory. It inflames all the joints, and that chronic high blood sugar level or high insulin also is inflammatory.
Yeah.
So now that we've changed that environment, we're no longer chronically high blood sugar, we're no longer chronically high insulin, and that's what helps your body to heal and helps to reduce the pain of arthritis
Right.
and lipedema.
Yes. It's been
What
good.
else have you noticed, Bev?
My eating habits has got better. Eating primal has actually suited me. I didn't realize it would. I kept thinking I'm going to be hungry on this, and I'm not. And I went through the stage where I was having 2 meals a day, and then I broke my meals down to smaller meals so I could feel like I was having 3 meals a day, but it was the same amount going in. I'd wake up in the morning and I wouldn't be rushing downstairs wanting to think, oh, I need a bowl of cereal, or I need this, or I need that. And because I wasn't feeling hungry even when I woke up, but I did feel refreshed. Does that make sense? Stop going to the loo in the middle of the night. That was another good thing as well, because that used to really, really make me upset, because of course you wake up, you've got to go to the loo, blah, blah, blah. But I was sleeping better, so I was getting more rest. And that in itself was helping as well. And I know putting it all together, it was just one of the good things. And also my daughter was really helpful as well, because she was really encouraging. And she weighed me every week. She measured me every week. She was just like, I think she was my number one fan, really, because she was saying to me, Mum, I can't believe how much weight you're losing. And I said, no, I can't either. Every week it was like something new. I felt like a kid all over again. It was really nice. I kept thinking, I am losing weight and I am eating like this. This is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. So tell us, Bev, how much did you lose altogether?
18.5 pounds in 21
Wow.
days. The half was quite important. Because I did that on my last day. I weighed twice in the same week, and I got up to 18, and by the time it hit Friday, I'd lost another half a pound.
Yeah, that's amazing. So 18.5 pounds, for anybody who wants to know in kilograms, that's 8.4 kilograms. So it's an incredible amount, because I know that, like many of us, you had tried so many different things, but
Oh yeah.
it did not feel easy and it wasn't sustainable.
No.
But tell us about, because what has it been like transitioning from give us an idea what sort of things you used to eat before and what you're eating now.
I realised that a lot of the things I was eating before was sugar-based. I like cornflakes. Oh, actually, no, I loved cornflakes. I've been eating cornflakes since I was a little girl. And I used to pour sugar on. I used to have it with sterilised milk when I was younger. And then I went to semi-skimmed and then to skimmed. But I found a lot, that breakfast in the morning, I was always having the sugar and not realising that I wasn't actually satisfied from it. I knew I had to change it because it wasn't doing anything for me. You become a creature of habit and you think to yourself, oh, I'll just grab a box of cereal. Realistically, I didn't realise how much I was actually damaging myself from eating those, because all it was I didn't realise how much sugar was in it. I used to eat cornflakes morning, noon and night. It was always my go-to. I didn't realise how much sugar I was putting into my body at the time. And I kept wondering why I'm not losing weight, because I wasn't having a massive amount, but even the small amount I was having was so loaded with sugar, it was not doing me any good. It's not until you start looking at the back of the pack and you think, I do like these, but are they any good for me? No. Because obviously they've got high in carbohydrates and high in sugar as well. And then I was putting sterilised milk on top of that. So it was a no-win situation completely. I like vegetables. I used to think that they were good for me, that was supposed to eat them and everything else and whatever. I've reduced the amount of vegetables I eat now, and I've realised that my body actually doesn't need them. I haven't eaten any fruit at all for the 21 days plus, which has really surprised me, because I kept thinking my body must need this. But again, it's the sugar. You don't realise how your body reacts to it. That made me realise how much rubbish I was putting into my body, and it wasn't doing any good when I thought it was doing some good. I'd sort of gone in that trap where, everybody says, oh, eat your veg, eat your 5 a day, blah, blah, blah. Realistically, I was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And if anybody knows, when they hit 50, sometimes managing your weight becomes a full-time job. Changing the way I ate made such a difference to my life. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, exactly. And so you were actually trying to do it. You thought your cornflakes was healthy. So many of us did. That's why I get frustrated, because this is what the NHS or Diabetes UK will tell you to eat. And you've lost 18.5 pounds in weight in 21 days, 0.4 kilograms, and your blood sugars come down too. So tell us about wearing the CGM.
Well, that was a bit of a trial and error thing. When I got it, I was like, oh, this isn't going to make any difference to me. My daughter had to help me set it up because I was a little bit backwards on things like that. So we set it up and everything else. And I think, what did I have? Oh, I had some lemon juice out of the bottle, which I thought was really great, but it does have a sweetener in it. And all of a sudden you see things spiking up and down and you're thinking, oh my word, and you just can't believe how your metabolism and how your blood sugars make such a difference to how you feel. Obviously, I was taking in a lot of sugar, so I was feeling quite lethargic. But now I feel a bit more energized and everything else. I realized why, because I didn't need the sugar. I had half an apple. It went off the scale. I thought, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. So, of course, you analyze things and you think this shouldn't be happening. I was looking at the watch and thinking, it's gone up again. Why? We shouldn't have been doing this. But it stays there for such a long time. So, of course, your body's trying its hardest to get rid of this sugar because it doesn't need it. But at the same time, you're feeling all woozy because it's like you're having a sugar rush. Of course, I realized then, and I just thought that's it. Because when you think about it, mangoes, pineapple, apples, there's little green things. I've forgotten what they're called.
Kiwis?
And kiwis. I used to cut them in half and eat them like I was eating an egg. And I used to eat loads of them. And I used to think nothing of it to put it in a fruit salad and mix them all up. But all I was doing was loading on the sugar, and my body wasn't doing anything with that sugar until I stopped and I thought, no, I don't really need that. And people look at me and say, oh, you're not eating this? No, I'm not eating that. Well, you should have some of you should have, people try to preach to you that what you should be having. I'm saying no, because I'm doing a different diet and it suits me right now. This is what I'm doing. And I felt this was the one thing I think I was quite happy about, how strong the diet made me feel. Because saying no became so easy. It was not a chore. We have chocolate every single day given to us at the school, and they put it in the fridge. And I have to go into the fridge to get my milk or my yogurts and my food and whatever. You'll see a whole shelf full of chocolate, and it just sits there because nobody eats it. But every day you get that temptation. And I wasn't tempted to eat any of it. I haven't had chocolate at all. And I was really pleased with myself because I used to love chocolate. Anybody who knew me knew that Bev likes a whole nut, and I didn't feel that my body needed it whilst I was doing the primal diet. So that was a good indication that my body was satisfied, mentally I was satisfied, and that I just can continue with that. So I thought, this is it. This is my new way of living.
And what was it like before with your relationship with chocolate?
Disgraceful. I must say, I was what you call a chocoholic. Me and my son-in-law, he used to buy me chocolate and I used to buy him chocolate. Between the two of us, I don't think a week ever went by when we didn't buy chocolate or a chocolate cake. We were terrible. I used to like truffles. I used to get myself the little truffles as a treat. Yeah, I love them. My basic chocolate was whole nut, Aldi's whole nut. You know, the big ones?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd sit there and eat the whole thing. So you can see
And then,
where I was going. Of course, all of a sudden, I've gone from that to nothing. It's like when I gave up smoking. It was either all or nothing. I decided this is the situation again. It's either I go primal or I don't go primal. And I went primal.
well, the thing is, I was a foodaholic, basically. I had my moments where I could do chocolate. I had other times where it was sweet, all sorts of savory food as well. I could go any direction. But the thing with primal is what you said earlier, Beverley, which is it's easy because you do not want it.
You don't. And it's really weird because it's like someone's flicked a switch. And it says, you don't need that, you don't need that, you don't need that. And you don't crave for it. And that's what I kept thinking to myself, should I be craving for chocolate? Should I be craving for my vegetables? Should I be craving for my fruit? But my body was saying, well, not really, because we're contented. And that was the nice thing, because that's what was coming out of me all the time. And it wasn't like you'd walk past a shop and you see the fruit outside and you think, okay, so that looks really nice. And you could keep on walking. You wasn't tempted. You wasn't tempted when you went to the fridge, when you see at work, when you've got all that chocolate sitting there, because your brain is satisfied and so is your body. And that in itself just helps you plod on, really.
And that's another thing, that this food, the primal food, has all of the essential nutrients that we need, the essential fatty acids, the essential amino acids, all of the vitamins and minerals and trace minerals. Everything that humans need is in animal foods. And so you do get this amazing feeling of being fully satisfied.
Right.
So you did it. You've seen what the CGM said. Tell us about the whole experience, because you must have started with a little bit of nervousness or trepidation of what it was going to be like. Were you going to be hungry? So what were those first few days like for you? Can you remember?
Oh, yes. It was a bit tricky because you'd get up at a certain time. Normally, I'd have a bowl of cereal. It'd take me 2 minutes to make the bowl of cereal. And then all of a sudden, I was thinking, oh, I've got to make my breakfast. When I first started, it was making sure that I could actually do my breakfast. And when I watched Nikki's video on how to make your breakfast in the morning, I thought, right, that's my breakfast sorted. But also, I realized that I could do it in the time when I would normally get up, as long as I'd prepped everything. So I used to prep everything at night, get it all sorted. And it was really nice because when I actually went to work and somebody said to me, oh, you had breakfast? I says, yeah. And they says, oh, what have you had? I said, 250 grams of mince flavored with garlic, salt and paprika. And they said, oh. I says, yeah. And then I put some what you call pork crunch on top of it. I says, what's that? I says, oh, it's like pork scratchings, but lighter. And they were like, pardon? And then I had some bacon and an egg with it as well. And they were like, you're not eating normal. That's fatty foods. My brain was saying, yes, it is fatty foods. But at the same time, I was grateful for it. And I think by the time I hit day 3, I'd got into the hang of it. But then also I realized that my body was going on a withdrawal. And I had a little bit of the shakes. I don't know if it's because my body hadn't had the fruits, it hadn't had the normal vegetables and things like that. And it was just withdrawing. But all my ligaments felt all wobbly. And I kept saying to my daughter, my legs don't feel like mine. And I feel a little bit shaky. She goes, oh, don't worry, Mum. It's just your body adjusting.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, my word. I felt like what she said to me was, I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm going to say it. She goes, oh, Mum, you have withdrawals like a druggie. So, of course, you think to yourself, oh my gosh, and it's true because you do have the withdrawals, but it's withdrawing because your body is actually fine-tuning itself into its normal proper diet, what your body actually requires. That for me was a good thing. By the time I hit day 3, it was like, okay, got over day 3, and I realized a lot of our colleagues as well were going through exactly the same thing as I was, and I was thinking that's not too bad then. That I feel a little bit more normal because I really thought, is this normal? Isn't it normal? Should I ask Nikki? Should I ask Nikki? So of course it was like, yeah, it is normal, and I just got better and stronger after that. That was my only wobble in the first week, where I felt that my body wasn't actually my own. But like you say, with change, you have to go through that process because my body was flushing a lot of things out, I must admit. And it was a good thing.
So we've talked about starting off and you had that little wobble, but you kept going. How did you find it? You mentioned the group. How did you find it being in the group?
Oh, the group was great. It was really nice to see other people's concoctions of what they were eating and making. And you realise that you can branch out a lot of things. But also what it did remind me of was that a lot of the foods my parents used to cook for us when we were little, I thought, oh, I can go back to eat souse. I made some one weekend with pig trotters and things like that. And that was really nice. You don't realise that a lot of the things what your mum give you, like liver, eating offal. Oh my gosh, I thought so. Why did I stop eating liver? You know what I mean? Because I had to eat liver raw when I was pregnant because I couldn't take tablets, and I didn't realise how good it was for you. I love liver now. Absolutely love it. That with a couple of eggs, you can't go wrong. You know what I mean? Cannot go wrong. And I found that a lot of the things my mum used to give me as a child, which I used to think, oh, I don't want that, is all the things what was good for you. It's like you sort of going back into your childhood as well, because we didn't think mum knew best, but mum did know best. So, and there's a lot of our sweet treats, which a lot of foods in the West Indian culture, which are really, really good for you, which are very primal. When I cooked souse, I cooked it down, I did it with water and then put a few onions in and things like that. But I kept it quite plain, but also at the same time, the gluten what came off the pig's trotters made a fantastic broth. You know what I mean? Which I could literally just eat with the onions and the peppers and job done.
Yes, delicious, delicious. And all of these foods that some people might think, ugh, liver, these are things that you don't have to eat. I actually love liver things.
Well, that was quicker than doing my ground beef, Because I can remember one morning I did it. I thought, right, I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, so can I do it in the air fryer? And I thought, oh, should I, shouldn't I? But I thought, no, I won't. It took me 5 minutes. And that was it. It was job done. It was perfect. Cut it up in small pieces, threw it in the frying pan, put a bit of salt, pepper, and a couple of chili flakes. And that was it. Then just did some scrambled eggs with it. I was in happy land.
Yes.
And it was really nice. And it was really tasty because you actually taste your food. If that makes sense.
It's
so
actually food. It's actually food, because the cornflakes and some of the other cereals, it's just a mixture of chemicals and some grains, but the grains have been so processed, they have very little relation to the actual grains that grow in the ground. There's no nutrients in it for our body to actually use. It's very nutrient poor, and it skyrockets your blood sugar.
Primal eating has allowed me to get my ability back. It's allowed me to have better mental health. It's allowed me to be lighter, which is great. Being lighter is just the pinnacle because it's made such a difference to my life and the way I feel. I'm grateful for every day when I get up and I think, so, oh my gosh, it's going to be another good day, because it's another good day where the pain is reduced as well. And that's what primal eating has done for me. How
much did you lose in the 21 days?
18 pounds.
Wow. Don't forget the half.
Half. But half is important because it made such a difference to me, because it was like, oh, in 3 days I've lost half a pound because my body was slowing down. It was actually becoming more satisfied. It wasn't requiring me to lose the excessive weight, because I really think I shed that much weight at the beginning because my body didn't want it, so it just let it go, and then it slowed down a little bit. So I got weighed on the Tuesday, and then on the Friday, in between, I lost that half a pound, which made me feel better. I lost another 2 pounds just last week.
Yes. And you've also signed up. Tell us why you decided to sign up after doing the 21-day Primal Body Reset. You then signed up for the 90-day Primal Body Accelerator. What made you sign up for that?
I wanted to continue with my good health. I have everything to gain from this, everything. The 21 days for me has made my life much, much better. But I don't think people can understand how important and how happy it's made me just doing this primal eating. So why wouldn't I do the 90-day? I've got everything to gain again, to me, and more. And then I can literally go into my old age feeling better, healthier, and happier.
Some people might say, oh, but Bev, you know what to do now. Why not just carry on your own?
I must admit, these last couple of weeks, it's been hard, but luckily enough, having the group or my colleagues from before is essential, because people will try everything to get you off it. They will say, oh, don't do this, oh, just eat this. And sometimes you just need somebody to talk to, and then you'll probably get about 6 or 7 replies back saying, don't do it, you'll be fine, don't worry, just keep going. You do need that support, because people like to make you think that you're abnormal. That's the danger. You're not abnormal, you're normal, but it's because you're doing something, which is different for everybody else. Every day I go to work, and every day my colleagues say, you're still doing that diet thing, rubbish thing. Yeah, but the other day I put on my trouser suit and I was turning it up on the waistband and thought, oh no, this is ridiculous. So I ended up putting my scarf around my waist, and one of my colleagues said, oh my gosh, Bev, you've lost a lot of weight. And I thought, oh, thank you. They know it's working, but they still ask and think, is she really doing it? One of my colleagues says, oh, it sounds like a bit of a Mickey Mouse diet. I says, well, I can tell you now, Mickey Mouse lived for nearly 50 odd years. So if it is a Mickey Mouse diet, I'll keep going with it. I've got no It's just amazing how people look at you and think, oh, you're doing something different. Why wouldn't I do the 90 days? If I've done so well on the 21 and I'm still doing well now, the 90 days is going to make me even better.
Absolutely. And I want to be unusual, because most people, as they get older, they get sicker. But when you're
Yes.
eating primal, you're getting older and actually getting healthier. And we're
Right.
not just losing weight, we're getting healthier on the inside
Mm.
because you wore your continuous glucose monitor. And tell us about that.
My daughter monitored it for me. She set it up for me. She kept saying, because my glucose was high anyway, because my doctor told me this, and that was 17. But she monitored it for me. But she kept saying, Mum, it's coming down. By the time I'd done 7 to 8, 9 days, it really reduced itself. That was the good thing about it, because I kept monitoring on my watch. She'd hooked it up to my watch and to the monitor itself. I was able to see what was happening to me during the day. And when I'd come home and download my watch onto the monitor, it would start reading it. It made a difference to how I felt. And when I knew what I was doing to my body by having sugar or a carbohydrate I didn't really need, it made me think, you don't need it. Your body doesn't need it. So you need to continue doing this. So that's what I did.
Did you say that your doctor told you your blood sugar was 17?
He told me it was 17.
While you were wearing the CGM, was it in the normal range?
Yes, it was. Unless
So,
when I ate the half an apple, it wasn't. But obviously, that was my test to see if it worked.
yeah.
Mm,
You say within the first week, your blood sugar came down into the normal range once you started
yes.
your primal.
See, that was another things off the list. That list was quite long. When you look at all the ailments, what you could get from it, because I was always told that sugar was a bad thing, especially for people who had cancer. It runs around the whole body. So it's best to stay away from it. So I thought, right, fine. That made me think, if primal doesn't allow me to eat sugar, that's in my favor. It cemented a lot of my new learning, and it made me realize that I had to do something drastic to preserve the life I have left.
Yes, and it's been a joy for us, Bev, Nikki and I, for having you as part of the group because you just make us all laugh.
Well, I know. Some of the things I talk about, when you get to my age, you can talk about anything, but you think of, oh dear, how did that go down? I won't embarrass myself and talk about the other things, which I did used to talk about, but I was quite happy to talk about those things as well. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but
So, Bev, people watching this might be thinking, might be in this position you are. They might be pre-diabetic, they might have swelling, they might have other issues. What would you say to them if they were thinking about the reset?
thinking about the reset, you've got nothing to lose. You might as well do it because you've got everything to gain. If you can improve your life, why wouldn't you do it? Simple.
And what's next for you on your journey, Beverley?
Well, me, I'm visiting friends. I've decided I'm going to the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. I'm looking ahead because I can do this now. Traveling is just the best thing, because I used to be wary of traveling on my own, and now I'm not. I can walk better, I can talk better, and I feel more confident. So I've started to think about what we're doing for next year, what holidays we're going to go on, but I'm definitely going to Los Angeles for the Olympics. I love athletics, so I usually run around half the world with it. I might as well continue.
Wow, I love that you've got so many plans and that feeling better in the last 3 weeks has really added to your life.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the next 3 months, and obviously we're
Oh, I
going to
can't
come
wait.
back and do another interview afterwards. Congratulations. Thank you for joining us, Bev. Is there anything you want to say before we sign off?
Just to say thank you. Thank you for sending me that link and for sending me that message, because if I didn't receive it, I would have never have known anything about it. And I must admit, I've told everybody about you. So if you get people messaging you on sexy health, because of me, because people look at you and think, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that. But I think, you know what? It's worth it. It really is worth it. It's the best investment I've made in myself for a long, long time, I must say. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Bev. Thanks to you, Bev. And thank you for watching and for listening. If you think it could be your time for a primal body reset, just drop us a link with the word reset to apply. Okay. Bye for now, sexy people. See you soon. Bye.